What's going on, friends? Welcome to Fight News Now Extra. Pollock and Ramdian couldn't make it today, but don't you worry, because your buddy Robin Black's got you covered with all of today's news, including an axe murderer demanding more cash, Palhares versus Fitch booked for the World Series of Fighting, odds are out for Bisping versus Rockhold, and Miguel Torres finds himself a new home with Titan FC. UFC and Pride legend Wanderlei Silva recently spoke to Submission Radio about a number of topics, including his recent retirement and relationship with UFC President Dana White. Silva also spoke on the topic of fighter pay and stated if MMA wants to take the next step towards legitimizing itself, it needs to start with paying its athletes more cash. Silva also pointed to former UFC bantamweight champion Renan Barão as an example of a fighter living in modest conditions despite currently being a star with the organization. Everyone's favorite leg lock specialist, or least favorite leg lock specialist, depending on who you are, Mike Pierce, is set to defend his World Series of Fighting strap for the first time this December. UFC exile Rousimar Palhares, Paul Harris, returns to the cage to take on former UFC title challenger John Fitch. Both men enter the contest having won 2 straight, with Fitch having scored a pair of decisions, while Palhares won both of his fights by, you guessed it, leg locks. Miguel Bisping and Rockhold have been talking a lot of smack recently as they prepare for their upcoming fight in Australia November 8th. Both men are confident they will win the fight, but the odds makers, well, they think Bisping might be in for a beating. Odds for the fight recently released have the former Strikeforce champion Rockhold coming in as a modest 2-1 favorite over the former Ultimate Fighter coach and longtime UFC personality Bisping. And finally, former WEC 135-pound champion Miguel Torres seems to have landed himself a new home. The 50-fight veteran who's competed in the UFC, WEC, and World Series of Fighting recently announced a deal with rapidly expanding Florida-based MMA promotion Titan FC. Torres' debut is set for October 31st, where he'll meet former Bellator tournament finalist Des Green at 145 pounds. All right, guys, that's some of the news going on out there. Please stay tuned for more Fight News Now Extra right now.